Hello. If you also wonder how many features a GPU has, then watch this video till end. We have discussed 6 core features of GPU in this video, so that when you buy a new graphic card, this video can help you distinguish which one you should go for. Before starting, subscribe to my channel and hit that like button. Okay, so starting with ray tracing. Ray tracing is a graphics feature that improves how light, shadows, and reflections behave in a game. Instead of using simple tricks to fake lighting, ray tracing simulates how light works in the real world. When ray tracing is enabled, light rays are calculated as they bounce off surfaces, reflect in mirrors, pass through glass, and create soft shadows. This makes reflections more accurate, shadows more realistic, and lighting more natural. For example, with ray tracing turned on, a puddle on the ground can reflect objects that are actually behind your character. Without ray tracing, that reflection is usually fake or missing entirely. Ray tracing does not improve gameplay or make you better at a game. It only improves visual realism and immersion. Moving on to the next one, that is the DLSS. DLSS stands for Deep Learning Super Sampling, and it is a performance-boosting feature available on NVIDIA graphics cards. DLSS works by rendering the game at a lower resolution and then using artificial intelligence to upscale the image back to a higher resolution. The AI is trained to reconstruct missing details, so the final image looks sharp and clean. The main advantage of DLSS is that it increases FPS without heavily reducing image quality. In many cases, DLSS can even look better than native resolution because it reduces shimmering and visual noise. DLSS is extremely useful when playing at high resolutions like 14440p or 4K, or when ray tracing is enabled. It allows your GPU to work less while still delivering smooth performance. FSR stands for Fidelity FX Super Resolution, and it is AMD's alternative to DLSS. FSR works on the same basic idea as DLSS by rendering games at a lower resolution and then upscaling them to a higher one. However, FSR does not rely on specialized AI hardware in the same way DLSS does. One of the biggest advantages of FSR is compatibility. FSR works on AMD GPU and NVIDIA GPU and even older graphics cards. It also works on consoles. FSR usually does not look quite as clean as DLSS, especially in motion, but it still provides a large performance boost with acceptable image quality. FSR is especially useful for budget builds or older GPUs that struggle with modern games. It allows players to increase resolution or graphics settings while keeping FPS playable. Like DLSS, FSR includes different modes such as quality, balanced, and performance. Frame generation is a feature that increases FPS by creating additional frames using AI. Instead of rendering every single frame normally, the GPU generates intermediate frames based on motion data from previous frames. This effectively increases the frame rate without fully rendering every frame. For example, if your game is running at 60 frames per second, frame generation can make it appear closer to 120 frames per second. The main benefit of frame generation is smoother motion, especially in visually demanding games. The downside is that it can slightly increase input latency, which means your inputs may feel less responsive. Because of this, frame generation is best used in single-player games rather than competitive multiplayer games. VRAM stands for Video Random Access Memory, and it is the memory used by your GPU. VRAM stores textures, shaders, models, and other graphical data that the GPU needs quick access to while rendering a game. The higher the resolution and texture quality, the more VRAM is required. If a game uses more VRAM than your GPU has available, performance can drop significantly. This can cause stuttering, texture popping, or sudden FPS drops. VRAM capacity is especially important for high-resolution gaming, such as 14440p and 4K, as well as for games with high-resolution texture packs. Anti-aliasing is a graphics feature that reduces jagged edges on objects. Jagged edges appear because screens are made of pixels and diagonal or curved lines do not align perfectly with square pixels. Anti-aliasing smooths these edges by blending colors between pixels, making objects look more natural and less sharp. There are many types of anti-aliasing such as MSAA, FXA, TAA, and others. Some types focus on quality, while others focus on performance. Higher quality anti-aliasing methods improve image clarity but can reduce FPS. Lower quality methods are faster but may blur the image slightly. Anti-aliasing is mainly a visual improvement and does not affect gameplay. Okay, so with that, that's a wrap-up for today's video. Subscribe Overclock and like this video to know and learn more insights about your daily tech and memes.